All right, welcome back to InDesign. Today, we are going to be working on our cookbook spreads more and diving deeper into setting up our digital file, our digital roughs for our cookbooks based on our type studies and our grid sketches. So first things first, when we open up InDesign, we want to make sure in this upper right-hand corner that typography is the workspace we're working in. So make sure that you have typography showing in this upper window, and that is the space. That shows that all of your type tools will be available and in reach for you as you're working. So you can see all my character styles, paragraph styles, character and paragraph are all right here. My layers are here, and Creative Cloud libraries are here. I have my color swatches, and we're going to go into the rest of the tools. So there's a couple things we're going to do starting today. Last class, we built our grids in, our columns, but we didn't get our modules in, our flow lines. So what we'll do is, I'm going to go ahead and take these off of here, and we'll put them on together. So I'm going to take a minute and select all of my, hold on, I have to go on to my, let's get our pages open. It says it's open, but I don't see it. So it's hidden on me. Let me pull that up. You want to open up your pages window? Oh, mine's way down here hiding. There it is. Come on. Oops. There it is. Okay. So remember, we have our master pages where we built our folios on. I'm going to zoom out a bit. And so I can see there's my folio. I'm on my master page. And we had we had folios on both. Oop, that isn't what I wanted. Add my other folio. I know we did this last class, but I didn't have a new document here. So where we're at from last class is we had our folio set up. We started with our paragraph styles. How many paragraph styles? Did anyone move further ahead and get more paragraph styles together? Since last class. It's okay if you didn't. I just thought I would check in. Our goal today, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're hoping to do, is to get all of our paragraph styles and reduce character styles finished. We're going to start laying in our copy. We're going to create color palettes and those installed into our Creative Cloud libraries, and then start bringing our images in. So a lot to do, and our goal is to by today, next week, to have our both threads built in InDesign and have all of our copy in, all of our images in, and any color, any other graphics or elements in place. I'd be reviewing our files, sharing our screens in. All right, so here I am. I'm on my master page. I'm on my master pages, and I want to build in the modules. How we do that, you remember, is because I wanted to work with my baseline grid, I'm going to create a square that fits the width of my column and goes to the closest baseline grid. I'm just going to make it a color so I can see it. And then I go up to my ruler, and if I pull my grid lines out here to the gray area, they will go all the way across both spreads. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, pull my grids out here to the gray, and then the lines will go across both spreads. Now, if you want to change the color of your ruler guides, they come in turquoise. Mine now you can see are orange. You can go up to Layout, Ruler Guides, and change the color to any color you wish. I'll make mine Fiesta. And then when you've done your first row, and then just slide your little guide box down, and then keep going and doing all the way down your page till you have all your module lines in place. And again, you're just pulling down from the ruler and pulling them onto the gray, and then that makes them go all the way across your page. You can wait and change all the color at the end, so you don't have to do it after each one. Just showing you where that is. Questions? Okay.
Do you adjust the square size for like the type or anything, or how are you like coming up with the square size, I guess?
I'm taking the square shape in up corner and holding my shift key down to bring it to a perfect square. Now you notice it's landing in between two of my baseline grids. So I'm just changing the square to the closest baseline grid and calling that my modules size.
So you're kind of eyeballing it, I guess, as long as it lines up with the thing.
It's right. I'm making it line up with my baseline grid. And the reason I'm doing it manually, because we did it through rows and columns and layouts, it wouldn't line up with my base grid. And I want it to line up with baseline grid. So I'm manually doing it that way so that my modules are not quite a perfect square, but they're close enough for what I need it for. And I do want it always lining with my baseline grid. Okay, so once I've finished that, and I want to make sure that you are working here on your master pages. So in other words, your folios should say A, meaning knowing you are on the master page. And that you're not on one of your working pages. Because anything we do here on the master page is a global edit. In other words, it's going to show up on every page in our cookbook. So we want to make sure that we're really only putting in the global elements like our grid, like our folios. And then once we're done with that, we leave the master page and click on our cookbook pages. And for me, my first spread is page 20 and 21. And that's why I always do my folios first. So I always know if I'm on an actual page or my master page. A lot of times I'll have people start laying all their copy on the master page, and then they're like, oh my, it's on every page. And so then it becomes very confusing. So really pay attention where you're navigating when you have your map pages and your actual web pages. Okay. So now we're in our working pages, and we are in the process of still setting up our all of our paragraph styles and character styles. So I'm going to just walk you through a list first. on the side here, put a list of the different type of, actually, I'll do it right here in the paragraph styles. This is where I'll do it. So, all right, so here is, I'm gonna zoom in. Well, I can't make these bigger. I wish I could make these bigger so you could see them. You know, I won't do it this way then. It's gonna be too small. Let's just do it the way I was gonna do it, which is over here. All right, I'm going to write a list of the elements of the paragraph style I want to see you start creating in your. So first, we're going to have a headline. I have a sub head 1. And that's really the secondary text that's part of your headline. And I have an intro text, or you might want to call body. Then you're going to have another subhead. That's going to be for your ingredients. The ingredients, instructions, utensils, etc. You're going to have, so I would call this subhead 2. And I'm just kind of sharing with you in this layer what uses this. Then you're going to have the actual instructions. Then you're going to have sidebar. You might have your tags be a different style. So in other words, as we're building our paragraph styles, we're going to be doing it for each part of our copy that we've received. So here in our paragraph styles, we started working on these last class, and we're going to keep developing them. So we have, I don't want to see you just label them paragraph style 1, paragraph style 2, that kind of thing. That can be very confusing. Why do we want to call them paragraph 1, paragraph style 2? What could be a problem if we do that? That's the default. Who can tell me why that might be a problem for us?
Since you're applying it to different spreads, sometimes it wouldn't match up. It's like if your next spread had like 7 paragraphs or something like that, then it wouldn't match correctly then.
Well, it will match correctly, actually. All paragraph styles will go from spread to spread for sure. Will you remember what paragraph style 1 is and what paragraph style 2 is? Or Joe comes in to work your file because you're out and you're working at a job. Joe know what paragraph style is and what paragraph style is? Right? Someone else won't know. And in the world of design, you're usually not working alone, usually working with a team. So you want to make your files in a way that's really easy to work with others and for yourself, so you remember what you're doing. So by naming your paragraph styles what it is, you're helping yourself, especially if you're working on a large project like book, helps you know what you're doing from day to day. And if someone else comes because you've got pulled off your job and you're on another job, or someone come in next year they can see the structure of your file works and make it easy for anyone to come and work on your file. So you really want to make sure you make it easy to use. So your paragraph styles need to be named in a way that can be easily followed by anyone. So never keep them the default paragraph style 1 or 2. Always name them what they are. So the instructions body, you can also refer to that, or I'm sorry, the subhead instructions. Oh, you know what I'm forgetting is the list, the ingredients list. So we also have lists we're going to be using, and that would be like ingredients. Ingredients, utensils. So that's what those lists. So all of these are paragraph styles. We're going to do them once, and then once we've created them, we are going to be able to use them on our second spread that we're going to be creating by just a quick click of the button. And then we're also going to be able to use them. Stop that. Okay, what is going on with my page? It's disappearing on me. Okay, and so do you want me to go over, we went over this last class, create a paragraph style and a character style? Do you want me to go through it one more time, or do you feel like you all understand how to make it?
Can you go over it one more time?
Okay, yes. How is my sound coming through now? Is it coming through okay?
Yeah, it's been good.
Okay. All right, I'm going to open up my Word document and get copy. Okay. This time I'm going to if I even get into that, I'm going to do a couple things. As I'm going to work, I brought in all of my copy into one text file. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do the intro body as my paragraph style. So I'm going to make a new paragraph style. I'm going to have my paragraph style window open. I'm going to use the menu. There's two ways. There's a new paragraph style from the menu. I recommend doing this because then it automatically links into my CC library, which is right here, add to CC library. There's my cookbook, which is already set up. I'm going to not name it paragraph style 5. I'm going to name intro body copy. I'm going to go to my character. It's already in use. Oh, hold on. Intro body copy 2. Maybe I should just 5. I don't know how many I have already. Okay, and then I'm going to go into my advanced or my basic character formats and put in my typeface based on my type study that I'm going off of. So you want to have type study in front of you. I'm going to go with Meta Pro book. My type is 10 on 12. Say okay. I'm then going to go into indents and spacing, and I want to align to grid all lines. This is going to lock my type into my baseline grid. So don't even have to think about it. It's going to automatically stay aligned to my base grid. And that will save me a lot of time and futzing around. It's going to be ready to use. I'm going to say okay. Now it's not I can see that here's my Creative Cloud library. I'm going to pull it down because I've been adding things to it all week. So I have a lot. Where's my intro copy 5? Just added. Oh, there it is. So intro body copy 5. I'm now selecting it. And you can see it's now selected here in my paragraph styles. So now it is a paragraph style. Now, I'm going to tell you what the difference is between a paragraph style and a character style. I'm going to show you how to make a drop cap. And so I want for my intro text to incorporate this first letter into a drop cap. And I want to make that cap different than the rest of the typeface, than the rest of the style here in my paragraph style. So when I want to change one element of this paragraph style, not all the copy, just one element, I need to create a character style. So I'm going to go into character style and I'm going to create a new character style from the menu again, so it adds to my CC library. And I'm going to call it drop cap and PHT night. I'm making a different name because I have a lot of these already. So I've made my name drop cap. I'm going to then go into my basic character formula formats. And so I'm going to say it's still going to be part of the meta, but this time I want it to be bold. I don't want it to be normal or like everyone else in this paragraph. I want to make it different. So I want it bold. I'm not going to add any size or lending. This is very important because we're using the drop cap. We are going to indicate the size based on the lines of, if you put a size and letting in here, that will distort it. So don't put anything in here, no size, no letting. Then we're going to go into character color and I'm going to pick a color from palette. And then I'm going to say, okay. Now nothing's going to happen because we don't select our copy from in here because this is just going to be into our paragraph styles. We don't select now a character style or it'll turn everything in that character style. What we want to do now is go back to our paragraph style. I'm going to my intro body copy 5. And I'm going to go down here to drop caps and nested styles. Are you guys with me? And so for my drop cap, I'm going to move this so you can see it. We're changing just one letter. So it says characters. I'm going to say 1. And I want this to drop down 3 lines of copy. And it's going to be my drop cap character style that I just made. And then I'm going to say, okay. So now there is my drop cap, which is a bold version of meta, and it's a different color, but it didn't affect the color or the face of the rest of my paragraph. But I want you to see that kerning is not great. When we do a drop cap, we have to go in and fix the kerning. Notice how the H is almost hitting my T. So what I do is I'm going to put my cursor in front of the H, go to my character window, and then go to my kerning and adjust the kerning. And notice how all 3 lines of copy next to the T are moving consistently. And I just am moving it slightly away so that my H is no longer hitting my T. Okay, did you all follow?
Yes, I follow.
Okay. So that's how we create a drop cap. And that can use it, we can use that a couple different ways. We can use it as part of our intro copy, or I made another one, and I'm going to go down to another spread here that I kind of prepared from earlier. And so I'm going to show you, for example, what happens if we take our instructions and treat it and do the same thing. And I made another character style. But this time I'm using it for our numbers. If you notice, we have these numbers for our instructions, and we can kind of play with that. I'm gonna just do a couple little things here. I'm gonna take the dots off next to these numbers and take this. There's a hard return here. I'm gonna get rid of that. And then I'm gonna add a paragraph style that I created here. Take the dot out, take this return out. That's a hard return that's in there. Okay, so now I'm going to select my instruction copy. I'm going to choose a paragraph style I made that says body with numbers. In other words, I've added a drop cap that I'm calling body numbers. And so I use that same technique I just shared with you and treated the number as my drop cap for my instructions. So it doesn't always have to be used for, it doesn't always have to be used. I'm going to delete this. It doesn't always have to be used for a letter. It can be used for numbers, like in this case. And so I also want to show you while I'm over here of how we flow our text into our. So another big thing that's important to be aware of is when we have all these different types of copy that we're bringing into a layout, you might be tempted to start cut it all apart and putting each in its own box. I want to make sure that you're recognizing how to have your copy flow from one box to another. Again, you want to build your files in a way that are going to be easy to be edited and work well with others, especially when someone comes to a file that you created, it in a way that is organized and easy for people to jump into and help out with. So I'm going to go back up to our file up here. So right now you can see I have all of my copy in, I have it in 2 boxes. Actually, no, that's not my copy. That was me just telling you what to use for your, so here's all my copy in 1 box, 1 frame, text frame. I'm going to have my headline come out of the main box because I'm going to treat it much bigger and a lot different. I'm going to cut my headline and get out of the main box of copy. And I'm going to start another copy box for my headline and put it aside for right now because I'm not laying that out right now. So I'm just going to lay this aside. So here's my intro. I'm going to start my intro here in the active corner of my second module. Just one down right here. A couple other things I'm going to take out. I'm going to take these tags out because these I'm not going to treat as part of my flowing copy. These are going to be tags that I might use in another way that come off the edge of my page or in my margins perhaps. This is just saying it's a family friendly recipe. It has allergens, the prep time, the cooking difficulty, and the serving amount. I'm going to treat those, they're not part of the copy that flows. So when I'm looking at just the copy that's flowing to take me through the recipe, there's a couple things I want you to be aware of. These recipes are coming from HelloFresh. And so there's a couple wonky things that are happening in the ingredients I want to be aware of that you can add. And that is when we're looking at the ingredients, I want you to see that there's a bullet in front of the ingredient list. And you can take those out. Those are not necessary. In fact, they're distracting. So the first thing when you are looking at your copy with the ingredient list, I want you to take the bullet out. Then I want you to notice that it has unit, 1 unit, comma, red onion. It's like a computer is talking. All we need to do is have it say 1 red onion. So take out the word unit, comma. So you just have 1 red onion. Same thing for the next one. It should just say 1, whatever the vegetable is, right? And so you're going to see that throughout. The next thing you're going to see is that you have measurements. So a 1/2 ounce of cilantro. You can take the comma out. We're going to, the ounce can be also abbreviated, and an abbreviation for ounce is OZ. Then I'm going to take the next bullet out and see I have 2 units Roma tomatoes. I'm going to take out the word units again. And I'm just going to go down my list. So I encourage you to go onto your ingredient list. And anywhere there's a fruit or vegetable, it'll say word unit, and just take that out. You do want to keep all the measurements. So this next I have here is teaspoons. So the abbreviation for teaspoon is lowercase t, SP, and that's the abbreviation. So TSP with a lowercase t is the abbreviation for teaspoon. And you are welcome to use to kind of make a narrower column for yourself. And ounces can go into OZ. And then tablespoon is a capital T, B, SP, tablespoon. Oops. The next one is one chicken stock concentrate. I know I don't have the measurement because this is something that they usually give. I'm not going to worry about it though. It's okay if you don't have it exactly. I'm just going to take the unit out as well. Tomato paste. You can also copy and paste your abbreviation for tablespoon in once you've made it once, like I do here. And then when you see one of the allergens put in parentheses, you can take that out too. So it contains milk for sour. Go ahead and take that out. We're going to indicate the wheat and milk allergies at the top of our page. So you don't need them in the recipe, in the ingredients. Any questions as I'm doing this? And then I'm going to show you a couple different ways to work with lists in InDesign. I'm going to take out the allergen for the cheese. Again, I'm taking out the bullets. Okay, so now I have that ingredients copy edited. I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can create paragraph styles for this that include things like tabs and ways to organize this in a way that's even like a little even easier to read by putting in some additional alignments. Selecting my list, and I'm going up and creating a new paragraph style. And I'm going to call this list 5. And just because I have a lot of character styles already. I'm going to go my format. And if you remember our review of searching of other cookbooks, we found a lot of times that the ingredients list was in bold. So I'm going to go ahead and make mine not bold, but medium, which is like a sub bold for meta. I'm going to leave it at 10 on 12. But I'm actually also going to make it a color. I'm going to go over here to character color, and I'm going to make the ingredients list one of my colors. Make it my dark green. And I'm also going to then go to tabs. And this is important because I'm going to organize the numbers from away, move the ingredients away from the numbers, actually 2 columns going up. So on this tabs, you'll notice there's a ruler and a left, there's these 4 little arrows. There is a left justified, a center justified, a right justified, and a decimal. I want the left justified. And there's this gray bar above the black ruler. I want to click on that gray bar, and I want you to see how there is a line that's showing up over my ingredients. I'm moving it over to have it be far enough past my tablespoon, which is my longest measurement word. So I'm going to move it over right about there. Right about there. And then I'm going to say, okay. So I'm going to go into my paragraph styles, choose list. Where did my list go? Oh, there it is, list 5. There's my list 5. And then I have to, so you can see it's turned green, it's medium bold, and now I have to add a tab in front of every ingredient. It's not going to automatically move over. I have to add that formatting in. And so I'm just going and putting my cursor in front of every of the ingredients, not the measurement. I'm leaving all the measurements to the left and the ingredient to the right. So fajita spice is going to be the closest one. Chicken knock. Concentrate moves over. Tomato paste. Sour cream. Chipotle pep powder. Flour tortillas. Monterey Jack cheese. Olive oil. And then salt and pepper. And so now you can see I have all my measurements here on the first row, and then all of my ingredients pulled away from it, so that it makes it all the easier to see how many need of red onion, poblano peppers, etc., or a half of cilantro. It makes it easier to read. And so what we want is to really try to make it easy to read. So that's my list paragraph style, but I do have to add the tabs in to give it that effect. It won't automatic tab. You have to set a tab and then physically go into the copy and put it in. Okay, is there any questions? Everyone on that? The next thing I'll have a paragraph style is my ingredients. I've already made that one. So I'm going to go ahead and put a subhead in. There's my subhead for ingredients. And then my nutrition values per serving will also have that same subhead. So they're all exactly the same. Now you'll notice I have more copy, but I can't see it. It's all in this box, and I know there's more copy because I'm getting this little tiny red dot right here. I'm gonna zoom in so you can really see it. Okay, so right here, there's a little red dot. When I click on it with the selection tool, you'll see it loads my cursor with a little paragraph of copy. And so that's telling me I can now go ahead and draw another paragraph for a frame for my paragraph. So I'm going to go ahead and draw another 2-column frame for the next part I copy. So I'm going to click on this first box. And I want it to go into my layout, which is 2 columns. All right. Zoom out so you can just see what's happening here. So this couple things, when I moved this into 2 columns, I want you to see how the word chicken stock concentrate got hyphenated and the word trait moved over here into my number column. The way I fix that is I put my cursor in front of concentrate and I hold my shift down and hit return. It creates a soft return. And I hit tab. And so now it's aligned chicken stock concentrate. It's a 2-line with the ingredient, how much I need over here left, the quantity on the left. So that's what I created, not a hard return. I'm holding the shift key down, which creates a soft return when I hit the return button. So now I've put all of my ingredients together. My next text box that's flowing and connected to my first one is right here. And I'm going to do another soft return for the word per serving. Shift return gives me this a second line. Here I'm going to select this copy and give it a paragraph style that I've created. I could just continue with my list if I wanted, or I could create a different paragraph style if I wanted. I might want to do a different one here because I don't want it confused with ingredients because it's different information. It's nutrition. And the numbers in this, if you notice, 35 grams, 6 grams are all the right. So we would probably be better off doing this one a little differently. So let's go in and I'll show you how to make a tabbed list, having the numbers go to the right now versus the left. Is everyone with me? I'm going to make a copy of this list 5, pulling it down here to the, and you'll see there's now a list 5 copy. So I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to call this nutrition. I'm going to take the tab and this time I'm going to take off that flush left and I just click it and drag it to my ruler. And now I want to do a flush right, just the third one, and it says a right justified. And I'm going to bring that over here to, I'm going to select it and drop it onto the ruler. And now I have to think about what is my furthest word away. So carbohydrate, I think, is my longest word. I think it is. I think carbohydrate's my longest word. You know what? I think I'm just going to line it up with the second grid line. So there it is. I've lined it up. I'm going to say, okay. And so what I'm going to do for this one, let's say tab. What's going on here? Energy, tab. Oh wait, maybe I keep that that abbreviation there and make that. There's some weird formatting in here. We go. You know what? I'm going to turn on my characters to see what formatting is in here because it's making some weird things. So let's go ahead and go under type, show hidden characters. We do that, it shows us what kind of formatting built into the copy. And it's showing us in these red marks. So this is showing me there's some formatting right there I want to remove. Now I can hit tab, take that out. I don't understand why that's just not letting me tab it to there. I've already set up my tab. Tab. Gonna have to come back. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to open up my tabs and find out why I'm not. Why are these not aligning like I had asked it to? Let's go here. Tabs. You know what I do? I'm doing the wrong thing. That's why. I don't want it to be right align. That's if we're doing a table content. I'm trying to do it as a left align, but I'm using the wrong tab. You want to use the left align. We're going to line it with this. If I use the right align, it has to go all the way to the far right. And actually that isn't what I want. I do want it to align still flush left. So I'm using the wrong tab. So I'm going to switch over to the left tab. Take this one off. I'm on the left tab. That's why it's not working. Right there. I'm going to say okay. Now let's try this again. There we go. Oh. Saturated fat, 18 gram. Okay, there we go. Carbohydrates. So there, now we're aligning all of our nutrition based on, and I'm aligning it with this column, the second column we have here. I couldn't do that because of the length of words for our ingredients. So I wasn't able to do that quite this way with our ingredients. However, I can adjust our ingredients now that I'm looking at it. Why are you moving so far? There we go. Because I can, sorry, I lost my place here. I can see I have enough room to move it over a little to fill that 2 columns a little nicer. So these are things you can go back and finesse once you get your copy started in the position. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead into my ingredients list, which is list 5. I'm going to adjust my tabs on this list over a little bit because I have a little bit more room. And I'm going to say, okay. It's going to move everything over a little bit. And I might move it a little bit more. So you can go back, even if you've built it, and edit it at any time. And that's the beauty of it. And it would not only just edit this page, it would edit every page in the book if I wanted to. Any change I make here on this paragraph style is going to edit every occurrence of this paragraph style throughout an entire book. All right, so make sure as you're building and as you're saving these things, you're saving your InDesign document along the way. So if you haven't already saved, go ahead and say save as. And save. So now you'll see as I'm going along, I have another little box at the end of this, and I click on it, it loads my cursor, and now I can go into my next column and pull and drag down a copy box. And you can see the next one I have here is my utensils, and then it goes into my instructions. So I'm going to do my utensils right now. And then, so the first thing to do for my utensils is give it the same subhead I've given my others. And then I've added a space below. I'm gonna take the bullets out because I'm not using bullets. Take them out. And then I'm going to go and create a list so it matches my other lists. Now, my instructions I'm going to treat a little differently and a different width of columns. So I'm going to close that text box off there, move it underneath. Actually, I'm going to close it there. I'm actually going to lengthen this one to bring that utensils back down here so that my instruction starts. I'm going to take my extra spaces out there so that they end. So now you see how flowing from one to another. You do want your copy to flow from one box to another. When you have clients, they will make edits. They're going to hand you copy to lay out in a design, and you're going to lay out your whole line, and then they're going to come back to you and say, oh, by the way, we have these edits we want you to make. And so if your copy is all in different type boxes, it's going to take so much more time to edit the copy rather than having copy flow into the boxes. So I'm going to start my instructions over here on my next spread. And my instructions are going to go over 3 columns. So it's a different text frame. And I'm going to bring it down all the way to my margin. And I'm going to bring it all the way up to my top margin. And I have 6, so they are. So again, like I showed you in my earlier, I'm going to just do it again. I'm going to take out this formatting that's in and that dot. I'm going to take all of that extra space out, and I'm just selecting the space and the dot and taking it out before I give it the type style I've made for it. I'm gonna add one space next to each number. Okay, my instructions is going to get the paragraph style subhead I've been using. And then I give it one space. And I'm going to select all of my instructions now. And just choose my body number that I created. And voila, there's my step-by-step instructions with nice bright numbers. Now notice how they're not all the same width, length. That's okay. But I do want you to say, once you've set it, I want you to zoom in and really how it's set. It's not like you just set it and forget it. You got to come back and take a look at it. And so I can see, I'm going to close my paragraph style for a minute. I can see in my number 2, I have an orphan. Do you guys see that? Who can tell me what should I do to solve this problem of an orphan in my paragraph? What should I do?
Do you change the tracking?
Right, I changed the tracking. So I'm gonna look at it and I have like a little hole over here. So I'm like, okay, I can maybe move that tablespoon up. I'm gonna select that much of it. And I'm gonna go to my character and my tracking is set on metrics. I'm gonna change it to optical. No, I want to keep it on metrics. Sorry. I'm going to keep it on metrics. And I'm going to do why isn't it letting me choose an amount? Oh, not I was doing, sorry, I was doing kerning. I want to do tracking. That's why. There we go. So I'm doing 20. There we go. That's the tracking, the VA with the line underneath it. Now you can see I have a full line there below. And the rest of these look pretty good. I want you to know that having a hyphen is okay. There are times you do want to get rid of hyphens if you feel like if they're starting to stick on top of each other, then you need to get rid of hyphens. In this case, I think I would leave it. I don't think it's hurting anything and it's giving me a good rag. That was really the only problem I'm seeing on this layout. Okay, so there's my instructions. I'm going to pause. Any questions on these are some of the ways to organize, and we want to make sure that we're creating a paragraph style for every piece of our hierarchy. And the next I'm going to walk us through is creating our color palettes and then bringing those into Creative Cloud libraries. Or did I do that last class? I don't think I did. Did I go through a color?
No.
Nope. All right. So let me open up Adobe Color. And you know, just type in Adobe Color and it'll be the first thing that comes up. Adobe Color. It's color.adobe.com. And I know I've showed you this page once before, but I'm going to show you how this will apply to our cookbooks now. So here is our color page. And you can use, the various color theory, monochromatic, triad, complementary, so on and so forth. Excuse me, to find the theme. But you might be really inspired by one of your cookbook images. So you can go into this extract theme tab and select a file from your computer that is your one from your recipes that you received and put that in. So here's an example of pulling one of my recipe files in. And then it's giving me even more choices. So this is a picture from the recipe file. And this is what it would, these are the colors it's pulling for colorful. These are the colors it's pulling for bright. These are the colors it's pulling for muted, deep, dark, or none. And then even if I've chosen one of these, but I'm like, I want, instead of this orangey color, I want more of a red, I can literally go and move this here over to another part of my picture and adjust any one of these colors to a color I like better. So if I'm like, I don't want orange, I want more of a yellow, I can do that too. So you can literally go in and move these dots around and change you can use what the computer gave you or make it your own. And then once you've done it and you've got what you know, like, let's say that's what you want to do, or you're like, I don't really love my picture. It doesn't, the colors aren't really doing anything for me. Then you can also go ahead and explore. That's another tab here. You can explore just regular, palettes that they have. You can look at trends, trends in fashion, graphic design, illustration, architecture, game design, and flavor. So here, and I can say view more, since we're doing recipes, there's a whole section here on flavor. And so you can kind of choose any of these palettes. But then I can say, yeah, I'm going to go back to create, explore. Where's my explore? No, wait. Create, extract theme. I decided, I did really like that picture. So I'm going to pull my picture back in and say, okay. So there's my picture and I like the colorful one. I can then go ahead and in the far right here, you can see that it's going to save to my cookbook library. There's the palette. It's naming it the name of my file, which roasted vegetables. And all I have to do is hit the word save. And it's been saved now to my Creative Cloud library. So when I come back into InDesign, hold on, I have to move this guy. InDesign. And I open up my CC library, you can see, I gotta move this over here, that, there it is, that my roasted vegetable Pro Bowl theme is right here. Now I can go ahead and let's say I take my box and I decide I'm going to put a box of color on my page where my sidebar is going to go. And just move these menus out of the way. So I'm going to say, okay, I like this gold color. I can just select, create a box, and then click on the color from my color library, and any of these colors I click on, it will change just by clicking on them. So that's pretty cool. I can just click on any one of these right from my Creative Cloud library, and they'll make a box, they'll make the color. But when I want to add that color to my type, especially in my paragraphs or character settings, I have to actually add it to my swatch library. And so the way that works is window, you want to go to your window color, there it is, color, go to window color, stay with me here, swatches. Excuse me. All right, I've already added a couple. I'm just going to close those. And so from here, I'm going to go into the menu and what did I do? Oh, here, down here, I think it is. Yeah, so here. No, I think I need to add it from up here. How did I do this? New color swatch. Nope, that isn't it. How did I bring these in? I got to remember now. I'm thinking backwards here. New color. No, I think I do it from this way. Ah, that's just, you do it from here and you go that way. So you start, you right click on your swatch in your color Creative Cloud library and you add the theme swatches. And when you do that, it pops right into swatches. Now it's all in swatches. Actually, it's doubled it because I've already had it there. And so now when I am in my paragraph settings and character settings styles, and I want to add these color, like for my numbers or my headers, that they can pull right from my library of swatches that I picked from my palette. So in order to have them in your type, you do have to add them into your swatch library. Okay. So any questions? All right, I'm going to pause here with the recording, and I think the main thing is when we're doing this is you want to think about our goal is to get all of these Creative Cloud libraries set up, all of our swatches in, paragraph styles, character styles in. Remember, if you're going to have any color as a background element, it should be a separate box. And it shouldn't go edge to edge with your copy. It should be sitting behind your copy. And I'm going to pull this down. This is where my sidebar is going to go. Notice how I have it going into the gutter of my design because I have, I don't want the color to end right where my copy ends. So when I bring my type in for my star, I want the sidebar type to sit in to this space. I'm going to open up my sidebar, and then that will be another. That will be another paragraph style I'll create. Any questions? Are you following along with me? Okay, any questions? All right. Let me save this. I'll stop sharing and I will see if anyone wants to share. I'm going to stop recording. If anyone wants to share with me questions or what you're working on that you. Why?